Hey, what's up guys, welcome back, it's Matt. So a little over 2 years ago I did a video called DC Films A Rant. Link to that up here, maybe. And basically in that video I kind of went over all the reasons why I was super unimpressed with DC and what they were doing with the DCEU. However, this past weekend, DC have done their DC Fandome, the sort of first online event of its kind. Due to most Comic-Cons not happening this year, they decided to put all their own big announcements into their own thing. And oh my God, I never thought I would come out and say this, but I'm actually kind of excited again for DC and what they're doing. So I thought I would just kind of go over a couple of those things today. So one of the first announcements from DC Fandome was the announcement of Arkham Knights, a continuation pretty much of the Arkham Universe games from Warner Bros. Studios Montreal. Now, they were actually responsible for the original Batman Arkham games. They in fact made Arkham Origins, which in my opinion is probably the weakest of the Arkham games. Even so though, this game does look pretty damn awesome. Obviously, it continues on from Arkham Knight. Batman is dead, so you're going to pick up the mantle of various members of the Bat family. So I think it could be quite interesting to sort of introduce different player mechanics and kind of see how each character works differently. My only hang-up about this game is the fact that it's made by Warner Bros. Montreal. Like, as I said, they made Arkham Origins. I think that was the weakest of the Arkham games. Rocksteady are not involved in this whatsoever, so yeah, I'm like excited for it, but a pinch of salt. I think it'll be okay, I don't think it'll be great. Moving on, we also got more information regarding Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League movie. I mean, you know, okay, it's great that he's finally getting to realise his vision and bring it all together. They did announce that it's going to be a 4-hour long movie, which I think is just like absurd. 4 hours? Really? Does it need to be that long? I'm kind of neither here nor there with this, really. As I said, great that he now gets to make it. Obviously, I'll give it a watch. Am I really excited for it? I'm not that fussed. I thought the first Justice League movie, the Joss Whedon version, was okay-ish. It wasn't great, it wasn't terrible, it's there, it exists. I feel now, though, with the Snyder Cut, there is a hell of a lot of hype around it. And I think it's going to be very difficult for it to live up to the hype. We also got our first look at Fandome at James Gunn's Suicide Squad movie, which does look very interesting. It's a war movie with a sprinkle of superhero throughout it. From the kind of featurette that they showed of it, clearly everyone who's working on the project, especially James Gunn, is incredibly excited by it. In fact, the way he's going on, I wonder if that was filmed before he got rehired by Marvel. Because he's just all like, this is the greatest movie I've ever made! Ah! Which I think is a bit of an odd thing to say when you've, you're in pretty tight with Marvel. But hey, it does look good though. Just in the small little featurette, it can't be any worse than the other Suicide Squad movie, which we're all trying to forget about. Can it? It can't be worse than that. Hopefully. There was a further trailer for Wonder Woman 1984 as well. This is a film that I am just not really bothered about. I thought the first Wonder Woman was okay. The main problem I had with the first Wonder Woman was just like the CGI in it was just terrible. It's like it's a superhero movie. Surely you already know a lot of your budget is going on CGI. Like, that final battle looked awful. This new trailer kind of shows a bit of Cheetah. She seems to look okay, so fingers crossed that's something they've sorted out this time. But I kind of like, meh, take it or leave it. When it was first announced that the movie was going to be set in the 80s, I was a bit like, right, okay, you're clearly just trying to cash in on the whole Stranger Things nostalgia boat. We'll wait to see how it is. Not hugely excited on this one though. In slightly more exciting video game news, Rocksteady did announce that they are working on a game which is the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Okay, cool. I'd rather another Batman game, but alright, we'll see what you do. It's Rocksteady, I have faith in them, it's probably going to be a good game. What I'm just hoping for is that there is just a good focus on single player storytelling. There seems to be a big push at the moment for like co-op online multiplayer stuff. It kind of looks like the Gotham Knight game is going to be sort of pushing towards that as well. And that's not what I want. What made the original Arkham game so great is the fact that it was single player, great stories. And that's something that I think that Rocksteady, especially with this game, should stick to, rather than trying to force co-op down our throats. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was also on hand at DC Fandome. He gave us our first look at Black Adam. There was no actual footage available, rather just kind of a monologue and then some cool concept art. He looks cool, he looks pretty badass in like the Black Adam costume. Very interested to see it and kind of see what they build towards in terms of introducing him into, a movie with Zachary Levi's Shazam and potentially the rest of the Justice League whatever the hell it is, DC are doing moving forward. Which brings me on to my next point. The Flash. So again, there was no trailer footage for this movie whatsoever, but just some concept art and kind of, you know, little chat by some of the producers, director, and Ezra Miller. This is probably one of the more exciting movies that they kind of spoke about at DC Fandome. They pretty much said that they are slightly adapting the Flashpoint storyline. We already know that we're going to have 1989 Batman in there, with Michael Keaton reprising the role. We're also going to have Ben Affleck back as Batman as well. So there's going to be lots of time traveling shenanigans going on in this movie, which is just what DC need in terms of being like, right, big red button, bloop. This is the reboot. You know, the whole DC EU starts off from here. The multiverse exists. That's a thing. You know, some movies are separate, some movies go together, blah 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 blah. But this is it. Like, this movie can lay the rail work. This movie can lay the tracks for DC getting on the right path and kind of actually making something that could potentially rival Marvel. And I'm actually super excited for that. Of course, the biggest piece of news, and probably the most exciting piece of news from DC Fandome, was the first look trailer for The Batman.
The hell are you supposed to be? I'm vengeance.
Oh my God. How amazing does this movie look? Like, you thought Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy was like grounded, dark and gritty. This just looks even more grounded, dark and gritty. But at the same time though, it doesn't look like it's trying to kind of shy away from some like comic book things. You know, there's shots of Batman in a room full of like GCPD. You know, it looks like the Riddler's kind of rocking his sort of like hush look. You know, it's kind of got like 7 serial killer vibes going on with it and stuff like that. It just looks amazing. I'm trying not to get too hyped up and excited about this one because I have really high hopes for it. Like, really high hopes. And it's already too late. I've already hyped it up too much. I have absolute faith in Robert Pattinson. I had no doubt when he was initially cast in the role. You know, Robert Pattinson's definitely out of the whole shadow of Twilight now. You know, he's done so many movies. He's proven that he can act. And yeah, like, I don't know, just like, even then his Batman voice in this just sounds great. Whereas Christian Bale's at times was a bit like, right, okay, like, I don't know. Robert Pattinson's Batman voice is pretty spot on. Yeah, 2021, can't come around quick enough. I need to see this movie. So that is it. That's kind of my little roundup looking at things I'm excited about and not really excited about from DC's Fandome. What an event though. I think really good idea. It'll be interesting to see if DC do anything like this again in the future. It'll be interesting to see if Marvel try and do something like this themselves, kind of imitate it, or, you know, put a twist in it, do their own kind of thing. But yeah, I'm actually kind of looking forward to the state of DC moving forward, which 2 years ago, I wasn't asked. But, you know, fingers crossed, good things coming. So guys, do let me know down below in the comments, what did you enjoy from DC Fandome? If you enjoyed the video, do please give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you would care to, and until next time, take care.